We're looking at Asterix today in the Tiger 2. I can only assume his name is a reference to the books Asterix and Obelix by Uderzo and Goscinny. Kudos, I loved those books as a child, and I would thoroughly recommend giving them a read. Anyway, to the game. So, a lot of times you'll see people respond to being bottom tier negatively, saying, oh no, I'm bottom tier, I can't do anything, my armor is not worth anything, my gun is not worth anything. And Asterix is going to show us why that is completely wrong. As a bottom tier, tier 8 in a tier 10 game, he is definitely on the path to showing us how to handle the situation. Despite being rammed by his teammate, platoon mate, probably personal friend by the looks of it, they managed to put some damage to the T-4400. Let's discuss the specifics of the Tiger 2. It is a tier 8 tank, but it's got a much more accurate gun than most tier 8 heavy tanks, and the nominal armor is exactly the same as that of the tier 10 E50M, which is quite significant. So the armor profile is very good. However, obviously the nominal profile isn't everything, the nominal armor just being the armor thickness, not the angling. So nominal armor 185 in the front, and 185 millimeters in the front of the turret, 80 at the sides and rear. Hull 150 front, 80 sides and rear. But that's not the full story because of angling. Okay, very lucky there to not take any damage from the Ravioli or the E100, Jagdpanzer E100. So he does continue taking damage from several enemies, however, while being tracked. So he's lost over 1,000 hit points, and it's not looking very good for him. Very wisely tracking the BC-12T in place and doing damage while he was pretending to not be reloading. So he takes him out, but unfortunately takes some damage from the side from the IS-3. With HE, so fortunately not doing the full, I believe it's 320 alpha from the IS-3's Top Gun. Now, the big difference, if you look at the E50M versus the Tiger 2, and the big difference is not so much in the DPM, which is about 2.5 versus 2,000. The gun handling is also quite similar, but the big difference is the power to weight ratio. The E50M has nearly 20 horsepower per ton, whereas the Tiger 2 only has below 10, which means that your mobility is in a completely different class. The E50M is significantly faster in every way. So while the Tiger 2 does a very good armor, it's not very fast. Not the slowest heavy tank, but it's definitely not very fast. So that E100 that was unfortunate enough not to do any damage to Asterix earlier is also unfortunate enough to take some damage from him in return. Now he's being double teamed. The E100 is being double teamed by Asterix and his friend in the Löwe. So while the E100 can do a lot of damage per shot, the time between shots is quite a lot. And unfortunately, he manages to screw up that shot straight to the face of the Löwe, giving Asterix enough time to take him out. So, Asterix up to 3 kills, over 3,000 damage, 1,500 blocked, which is almost the total of his hit points, and over 1,000 of resistance damage. Being bottom tier in a tier 10 match, in a bottom tier heavy tank, does not mean you're useless. It does mean you have less opportunities, or maybe less options, if you want to look at it like that. but you definitely still have a role to play, an important role to play for your team. Unfortunately, that one goes a bit high, and he doesn't manage to track the T95 in place. And now he uses the Luva as cover, because he doesn't know when the T95 will be reloaded, and unfortunately looked like he jerked his mouse at the end there and caused the shell to go a bit high while he was aiming at the Cupola. That is not much of a weak point on the T95. I'm not sure exactly what the armor is there, but it's still over 200 millimeters of effective armor from most angles. So it's not a weak point per se, it's just not quite as strong as the rest of the front of the tank. Alright, so the IS-4 is the only one remaining, but unfortunately he's taken out before Asterix can get another shot at him. Alright, let's have a quick look at the post-game stats. Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, and Steel Wall. In the team details, you'll see that Asterix was, with quite a big margin, over 300 experience, number 1 on experience. However, he was only number 4 on damage dealt. That obviously is because for lower tiers you get more experience for damaging higher tiers, whereas if you're a tier 10 tank, obviously you're not damaging any higher tier tanks, so you don't get that bonus. The personal bonus, personal details rather, a very nice combination of personal reserves and missions, giving nearly 10,000 experience for the game and a profit of 64,000. Very well done, Asterix, and thank you for watching.